Welcome to Indian Hill High School for tonight's matchup against the Indian Hill Braves and the Taylor Yellow Jackets. Bob, the Braves come into this matchup and fourth place in the league at a 5-3 record in the league and an overall record of 8-6. Taylor comes in the sixth spot at 3-5 in the league and a 5-10 overall record. So what's the keys tonight?
You know, Rob, this is homecoming for Indian Hill. Kids are fired up. Players are real enthusiastic about making a great, strong home stretch. I think tonight the name of the game is going to be keeping that enthusiasm and turnovers. Turnovers is going to be the name of the game. Indian Hill may have a little bit of a challenge without their usual starter leader, Austin Schneider. So they're going to look to some of the rest of the team to really control the ball movement and avoid those costly turnovers. I think Indian Hill feels very confident going into the game.
I think you're right. You know, coming into this game, Indian Hill is fortunate enough that we've got two guys in the scoring lead in the top 10 for the league, with Nick Heidel leading the team with 17.2 points a game, and Colin Shaw in 8th place with 14.2 in the league. Also in rebounding, we've got three guys leading the league in rebounding in the top 10. That's Shaw, Eichholz, and Heidel in that order, number 7, 8th, and 10th. And as they introduce Heidel coming out, he's going to be a key player for us tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a key here is how well Reed Eichholz plays on the inside. You know, Taylor has a young man in the name of Lonnie Grasson. I'm sorry, Zach Fulton, who's basically their leader. He leads them in points, he leads them in assists, and he leads them in steals. He also leads them in shooting percentage. The big difference in these two teams is, you know, we always talk about Indian Hill not having a good percentage shooting, and you know, Indian Hill shooting 40% on the year. They're shooting 60% from the line and 31% from the three-point line, where Taylor is 34, 54, and 20. So Taylor coming out of their own backcourt. Shaw picks up the number 20. Taylor's looking for the cut inside. Quickly dishing it off to number 20, who dishes it back out to 24. With the cut in to 10, 24 feeds Eichholz to the rim, but gets stuffed by Eichholz. Yeah, it's you know, where we've seen Indian Hill struggle this year has been in speed. I don't think Taylor is known for speed, but they play great defense. They last Friday held Marymount to just 44 points, and that for Taylor, that's going to be the key. If they can hold Indian Hill low in points, they have a chance at this game. But if Indian Hill can run the points up quickly, Shaw's trapped. He gets it down to the center. It's out to Heidel. Back out to Fiore. Fiore to Berger to Fiore. Down to the right wing to Heidel. Heidel looks to drive. Shaw with the ball. A turnover. Taylor's coming down the court looking for the transition. Gets the ball up. It's rebounded by Heidel. Quickly knocked out of bounds by Taylor. It'll stay Indian Hill's ball. Heidel with the three, it's off the mark. Rebounded by Fiore, who gets the two. So Indian Hill ties this game up 2-2. Taylor brings it down. It's quickly shuffled out to number 24, back out to 54 at the top of the key. 24 at the top to 34 off to the left wing. 10, they're looking to drive that lane. So Taylor's showing great patience here tonight, Bob, as they quickly move the ball around at the top. They're not making a lot of penetration. They've got a lot of movement inside. They're trying to give Eichel's moved out of the lane. Eichel's out of the lane right now. It's out to number 20 on the left side, who gives it back to 24, who's looking for the cutter. Number 10 bobbles the ball and is quickly covered by Fiore. Fiore on Fulton, 24 with the dish. Eichel's going to be called for his second. The basket's not good. The call was before the basket was shot. So Eichel quickly picks up his second foul. And we're going to see Dawson come in probably for his brother Reed. So as Eichel quickly comes out, Dawson checks in. Taylor inbounds the ball. And they call him for traveling. It's going to be Indian Hill ball. Shaw with the ball out of bounds. Brings it into Fiore. Taylor brings the full court press, and they break it to Heidel, who's on the left side, cut across to Fiore, who dishes it to Harder, who loses the ball, quickly covers his man. Taylor's breaking the press, brings it across the half court, and looks to set up their offense. Fulton with the ball into the lane, quick two, so it's 4-2, 5:27 left. Shaw brings the ball up. But I gotta say, Taylor's playing with great intensity. Shaw with the ball, and he's stuffed. Eichel's with the rebound, he goes up and he's fouled.
Absolutely, and they're moving the ball better than Indian Hill at this point. Indian Hill's going to have to find their rhythm. Getting the ball inside to Eichel's is a good start getting at the line. I think Indian Hill has a good free throw shooting team. They do lead Taylor in that category, but Indian Hill's got to get the open shots.
Eichel's with his first basket of the night, 3-4 Braves with 5:12 left. So it's very evident that Eichel's twin brother Dawson is going to play an integral role in this game, especially with Reed with 2 fouls and Schneider on the bench for the Braves. Fulton just goes into the lane and is ejected. And it's quickly, that's another block shot for Heidel.
Fulton does a nice job of getting down the lane, breaking the pressure defensively, and he's drawing the double team as well.
Knocked out of bounds by Eichel.
Nice defense. Nice defense by the Braves there. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Birch does in terms of the matchups on Fulton, who really is their offense.
So Berger's come in for Harder. Indian Hill with the defensive pressure and another turnover by Taylor.
Well, Rob, we talked about turnovers. If Indian Hill can create some more turnover opportunities, really they have an opportunity to take a lead here.
And Eichel's is called for the travel. So it's a 4-4 game. Taylor's looking, put it inside. Another block by Heidel. Rebound by Heidel. It's going to be Indian Hill ball as Taylor's called for the foul. That foul's going to be on number 20, Jacob Holliser.
Rob, Heidel's working his tail off in there, getting good position, coming down with a very solid rebound. But once again, Taylor gets inside with the ball on their offensive possession.
Well, it's evident that Taylor has probably watched film on the Braves and is applying a lot of pressure, playing very quickly, causing the Braves not to get a good set on offense. Pass down to the corner to Eichel, who loses control. It's picked up by Heidel, who puts the ball up and puts it in. It's a three-point shot for Heidel. So the Braves go up 7-4 with 4:04 left in this game as Taylor quickly gets down, puts it up. It's going to be to Fiore. Fiore's breaking down the court by himself. Looks for the dish, gets it to Shaw, who puts it in and gets 2 points.
Nice transition basket by the Braves, Rob.
So Taylor's got the numbers.
That's an offensive charge.
That's going to be number 24's.
Strong defense there by Eichel's on that set.
Eichels did a great job of getting down the court, getting his feet planted, and drawing that offensive
That was
foul.
all set up by excellent defensive hustle.
So we're 9-4 Braves with 3:45 left in this game as the Braves look to break the press. And tonight this near side's a little hard for us to see what's going on as the fans are standing tall and proud on this homecoming night. And the shot's off the mark, rebounded by Taylor, who quickly gets it out to number 34, who's going to draw the foul by, I think that's going to be on Berger. That foul's on Berger. It'll be his first foul. It's a shooting foul. So number 34 for Taylor.
Cameron Jamison at the line for Taylor. He makes the first shot. You know, Rob, Taylor plays a physical style of basketball, but in the last two series, you've seen Indian Hill match them with a lot of strength and intensity. Indian Hill's not backing down with that style of play, but that's really not their forte.
Taylor with the rebound, number 10 up with the shot. It's off the mark, rebound by Eichels, who gets it out to Fiore. Fiore bringing it up against the press and brings it across half court to Eichels. Looking for Shaw up top, who gets the ball. Quickly gives it to Eichels, who puts it up for a three, and that's a three for Eichels. So the Braves go up 12-5. And Taylor's called a quick timeout. So Taylor's applying fast pressure. The Braves have caused more turnovers, and the Braves are hitting 3 points tonight, which is a key to them winning, is hitting baskets. So as Taylor takes a timeout here, and Bob's working on his mic again, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Tonight's game is a homecoming game. The fans are out strong. We've got Duke Weiler on the stands tonight, cheering on the Braves, as the 7th grade boys beat Taylor the other day pretty handily, and the 8th graders won. So it'll be Taylor's ball out of bounds underneath their own basket. Heidel, Shaw, Fiore. Now it's Indian Hill's ball.
Fiore's going to bring the ball up the court against the full court pressure, looking for the trap.
Heidel working with Fiore, just Dawson to break the press, out to Fiore, down to the corner to Heidel, who had an open Berger in the paint. It's over to Eichels, who dishes it back out to Fiore, who puts it up for a three, and that's another three-point shot made by the Braves.
That's an excellent sign for Indian Hill to see them hitting from outside. That is the way to beat this Taylor team.
Another offensive foul called against Taylor, this time against number 10, who is Zach Fulton, for his second foul of the night.
Well, 2 fouls both on Fulton and on Coney, the 2 leading scorers. So we'll see if that makes any difference in the substitution patterns for Taylor.
Fulton's been brought out of the game as Shaw's looking to break the press, gives it back over to Heidel, who brings it up to Eichels, who drives the lane, puts up a jumper for a 2-point shot. The Braves go up 17-5.
Eichels is looking pretty fine tonight so far, Rob.
Taylor driving the lane, puts it up, and it's another block shot for Heidel. It'll be Taylor ball out of bounds underneath their own basket. So that's Heidel's 3rd block shot of the night, adding to his total to keep him in the running for the league best. Off the mark for a three. It's now Fiore who quickly gets it up, and it's stolen away by Taylor, who's got a wide open guy underneath the basket, who puts up an easy layup. So turnover on the Braves results in Taylor getting 2 points, making it a 10-point game. As they bring it across, Eichels looks to put it up, dishes it off, brings it out to Shaw, who quickly puts it up and banks it in for 2. That was great ball movement by the Braves as Taylor's bringing it up. Shaw's picking him up at half court. Out to 32 at the top of the key. Down to 23 on the right side to 20 at the top, who puts it up for a jumper and is off the mark, rebounded by Heidel. Heidel looking for another three, and he drains another three tonight.
Rob, there's been quite a stretch here of just torrid shooting by the Braves. I haven't seen them miss in a while.
No, they definitely are. All the guys are hot. Moving pick by Taylor that doesn't get called. 20 with the ball at the top of the key. Well, earlier in the game, we saw Taylor successfully trying to drive into the lane. They're not getting that into the lane, and they go up. It's off the mark. Rebound by Shaw.
Some impressive transition basketball there by the Braves. Really catching Taylor unawares with the rebound and quick outlet passes. Indian Hill seems to have really found their stride here. They're picking up their man and playing excellent defense.
You know, one of the things that needs to be mentioned, you know, Shaw is a freshman. He is leading the team in rebounds, actually, as a guard. Harder's off the mark.
I think the ball will be controlled by Taylor after that out of bounds. Fiore's taking a break on the bench. Berger is in, as is Eichholz, Harder, and Heidel.
Blocking foul called against Berger. It'll be a shooting foul for Taylor. That's his second foul of the night.
20 seconds left in the first period, Rob, and there's been a real run by Indian Hill, leading 22-7.
22-8, 20 seconds left, like you said, Pat. So another action around the CHL tonight. The biggest matchup is Wyoming at Finneytown. Wyoming's leading the league. That's Berger's third foul of the night. So Berger quickly picks up 2 fouls, and they're going to bring in Lightcap.
So Lightcap comes in. Taylor's going to inbounds the ball after reset by the refs.
I'm not sure who that was on.
And they called a foul on the floor.
That one was called on the Braves. Indian Hill gets the rebound, and Shaw's looking to break the press as he's quickly doubled. He gets it up to Heidel, who gets it back out to Shaw, who puts it up for a 3, and that's off the mark. But rebounded by 2 Braves to put it up. I'm going to give that to the senior Lightcap.
Excellent follow through and excellent rebounding. Indian Hill is really enjoying a height advantage right now with Lightcap, with Harder, with Berger. Taking advantage of that with an excellent offensive rebound off the NBA three-pointer by
the young Colin Shaw. So, as I was saying earlier, we've got some key matchups in the league tonight. We've got Wyoming against Finneytown. If there's a team in this league that's surprising people, it's Finneytown. Finneytown is tied for second place with Madeira with a 6-2 in-league record and a 6-10 overall record. But I will tell you, if you look at Finneytown, out-of-league schedule, they play a much tougher out-of-league schedule than Madeira. Between those two teams, I think Finneytown's the team that could give Wyoming a run for their money tonight. So we're done with the first quarter, getting ready to go to the second quarter. And the Braves are going to start the second quarter with Heidel, Lightcap.
Coached by Jim Brew. 8th grade boys team is coached by Nick Carpenter. The girls middle school team, 7th grade, coached by Rachel Smith. 8th grade by Jenny McGee. With all players on the Indian Hill Middle School.
So here we go. We've got Heidel, Lightcap.
Please stand, be recognized.
Daniel Harder's back in the game, and Colin Shaw. So the only one out on the field, out on the court tonight so far that has not had a break is Colin Shaw. As Heidel puts up a 2-point shot and makes it 26-8 with 7:45 left in the game. Taylor's bringing the ball up the court. Quickly dishes it off to the left side. They're still looking for that lane. Nice little pick set, up and off. Rebounded by Taylor, who quickly goes up, gets the 2 points, and a foul on Dawson Eichholz.
Nice work by Sean Engels from Taylor on that. Just good determination. Indian Hill had 2 men on him, but he was able to get the foul and the follow through with the bucket. So he'll go to the line for a three-point play, down 16 points. We should note that at halftime, we'll be honoring the inductees to the Indian Hill Athletic Hall of Fame tonight.
So Heidel with the rebound, brings it across half court, looking to move the ball around out to Fiore on the left side. Fiore brings it back out top to Heidel. I still would like to see the Braves execute a little more offense, not take the long ball shot, and work it into the paint and use the fact that they've got Lightcap and Harder in there tonight. Heidel looking to drive the lane, loses control, gets the ball back. He's covered up. It's out to Eichholz on the right wing. Back to Heidel at the top, who quickly gives it to Fiore on the left wing. Across to Eichholz on the right, who looks to drive and is quickly matched up by number 32. Eichholz drives again into the center of the lane, dishes it out to Harder, who puts a jumper up and is off the mark, but he gets his... So that'll be the 7th team foul on Indian Hill, and that one was called against Dawson Eichholz for his 2nd foul of the night. They called him for a clearing out foul. So it's a 26-10 game with 6:41 left in the 2nd period. Indian Hill right now has a Heidel, Fiore, Shaw, Harder, and Lightcap in the game. Give the ball to the Braves. So Heidel with the ball back to Fiore as Taylor's pulled off the full court press. Has been ineffective tonight against the Braves. Out to Heidel on the top, to Harder, to Shaw, to Fiore. Fiore back to Heidel, to Shaw, who puts up a 3 and drains it. So there's another 3-point basket. The Braves are on fire. It'll be interesting at halftime to see what the stats are for the Braves tonight. That's Shaw's 7th point of the game. Cut in. Travel.
Taylor. Indian Hill basketball.
So the Braves get the ball back on a turnover by Taylor as Fiore brings it up across the half-court mark, gets it down to Heidel on the left wing, who looks to get it to the paint to Lightcap. The ball's lost, and it's a turnover as Fiore brings the press. Number 20 against Fiore is stopped at the three-point line. Harder gets the ball and is called for a foul. That will be his 2nd foul of the night. So with 19 fouls, Taylor will be at the line for a one-on-one situation. And he makes his first basket to make this a 29-11 game with 5:43 left in the half. And the Braves bring Harder out and bring in Jacob Ward. So we have Heidel, Lightcap, Ward, Shaw, and Fiore in the game for the Braves as they're up 29-11. Make that 29-12 with 5:43 left. Ball's inbounded by Heidel to Shaw. Shaw brings it up across the half court. Gives it to Ward on the left side, who brings it back to the top to Fiore, who brings it in. Shaw drives the lane, puts a jumper up, and is off the mark, but gets his own rebound. Knocked out of his hands. Ward recovers the ball. Heidel up with another 3. It's off the mark. Taylor with the rebound that time.
Rob, you have to wonder, when is Taylor going to bring...
another steal.
When is Taylor going to bring back Fulton?
So, great defense by Jacob Ward, who went straight up with his hands and knocked the ball clear out of the ballpark. Fiore brings the ball up against number 23, who dishes it to Heidel, who's going to go for another three, and he drains another three. That's his 11th point of the game as he leads these Braves a 32-12 lead with about 4:50 left in the first half. Number 23 against Ward, off to number 14, looking to penetrate the lane and dumps it to number 20, who gets it back to number 14 to 32, who looks to drive, dishes it off to 23, who's covered up by Fiore and brings it back up top to number 20 to 42. So Taylor has not been able to get that ball inside the paint in the last probably 10 minutes of this game. They were very effective the first 2 minutes of the game of being patient. There's another loose ball. Taylor gets it, and Shaw's going to pick up his first foul.
But the Braves are really rattling the offensive shot attempts by Taylor. Several block shots, several deflected shots. Taylor has got their big starters on the bench. They are sitting them for the majority of the second period, Rob.
I think what they're looking to do is hopefully wear down the Indian Hill starters. But again, from a starting standpoint, you only have basically two starters in there. You have Heidel and Shaw. Shaw has yet to come out of this game, it should be noted. He's played every minute of this game and has been very effective.
Fulton looks like he's getting ready to come back in for Taylor, as Taylor has one more free throw, and he sinks it. Score is now 32 Indian Hill and 14 for Taylor. 4 minutes, 18 seconds left before intermission.
So it looks like Fulton's back in the game with 2 fouls. Taylor's playing a half-court game here and gives the Braves the opportunity to bring it across. Heidel drives the lane, gets it up, lays it up and in for a great basket. The Braves are trying to bring the full court press and disrupt this offense even more. Ward covers up his guy, turnover, and a steal by Heidel. Heidel looks to set the offense up, gets it inside to Lightcap, who puts it up for a 2. So Lightcap gets 2 points for us tonight.
Really nice assist there by Heidel, and Lightcap did what he needed to do. Got the safe layup. And rebound by Colin Shaw.
And knocked out of bounds. Again,
Indian Hill is on all cylinders at this point. They're creating turnovers, they're getting transition points, but they're hitting the 3-pointers.
Yeah, that's Taylor with the inbound to the left wing, to the right wing, I'm sorry. Down in the right wing, covered by Ward. Number 10 puts it up for a 3, and it's off the mark, and it's rebounded by Shaw, who gets fouled. So that'll be the 16th foul on Taylor. That's number 14 with his first foul.
Number 14 is Ethan Murray, one of their guards.
So Taylor has pulled the press back to a half-court game here as Fiore brings the ball up, dishes it to Ward in the left wing, who swings it out to Lightcap at top to Shaw in the right wing. Shaw drives the lane, gives it down, and they call Shaw for a travel. That was a great move by Shaw. Unfortunately, he's called for the travel. So Taylor is bringing the ball up against the Indian Hill press by Fiore. Gets across the half court. Fiore applies more pressure and gets called for the reach. So you know, one of the things that I like that Indian Hill is doing, they're way up in this game. Every player that's been coming in off the bench for the Braves has been playing intensely. They haven't let up at all. They're still going for the steals. They're still playing basketball like this is the championship game. That's what we need Indian Hill to do for 4 quarters tonight.
Absolutely, and this is homecoming weekend. This is it for Indian Hill. They really need to make a good showing tonight. They've got a tough stretch coming up with the rest of their league games, and they need some help from the other teams. Finneytown, Wyoming, move up in the standings.
And we'll see if we can get you a halftime score to that Finneytown, Wyoming game. Absolutely. Here at halftime.
So Fulton drains both of the free throws. Heidel's going to take the ball up court. Ward is still at the wing. Shaw dishes off to Fiore.
Heidel up for a basket, and it's off the mark. Taylor rebounds and comes up the court strong. And Fiore's going to pick up a blocking foul for his second foul. That'll put Taylor on the line for 2 shots as we're in the double bonus. So this game has slowed down a little bit in favor of Taylor. They're putting some points on through foul shots. Indian Hills picked up some fouls. So you now have Fiore with 2. You got Eichholz with 2. And the Braves are going to be bringing in number 32 for Fiore to end out this half. So Brad Lewis comes into the game for the Braves.
Rob, I think Fulton is going to be content to just get to the free throw line and get his points. He's definitely playing physically, drawing contact on every possession. As is Colin Shaw, who draws the foul.
So who are they going to call that on? Because it was... So they call that on number 22. Who is Zach Braun. And Colin Shaw at the line. And he's off the mark. A little flat on his shot tonight as it hits the back of the rim. So Shaw for his second attempt. We're 36-18. Indian Hill up with 2:37 left. Shaw off again, rebounded by Heidel, who puts it up for 2. So it's 38-18. The Braves lead by 20.
Rob, the second opportunities by Indian Hill has been a significant number. If we had a tally for the putbacks, I think we'd be pretty impressed, and Coach Birch would be happy with that. They've had guys in the right place at the right time, but they work very hard to put themselves in those places at the right time. Heidel certainly leading the way with his rebounding and his second efforts.
Well, earlier in the season, we had talked a lot about how their shooting percentage is not the best. But more importantly, they weren't converting second opportunity points. They were out rebounding their opponents. They were getting plenty of opportunities, but they just weren't able to put the ball in the basket.
That's absolutely true, and I think they must have been working on that significantly because we've seen great improvement. And they're playing with great swagger and pride tonight. They have great confidence in their shot, and they're getting those rebounds and going hard to the rim, evidenced by the fact that they're getting to the free throw line as well.
So you've got Shaw against Fulton as Shaw brings him up across half court. 32's looking to set the pick, and it's a turnover.
I think he's going to call a kick there on the defense. Ball will stay with Taylor.
So Taylor has the ball underneath their own basket. They call it a kick by Ward. You know, Ward hasn't gotten a lot of playing time. He quickly gets the turnover. Comes up the court, gives it to Heidel, who misses the quick layup, a little fast on it, a little bad angle, and Fulton brings the ball up. He's at the three-point line. He puts it up, and it is off the mark, rebounded by Heidel, who's going to bring it up on his own, and he turns it over. So playing a little bit undisciplined right now, and it's caused the Braves 2 turnovers. Number 23 trying to drive the lane against Heidel, dishes out to 32, who puts it up and is off the mark. And it's going to be Taylor's ball. Ward made a great attempt at getting that ball off the Taylor player. They call it out of bounds on Ward. It'll be Taylor's ball underneath their own basket on the right wing.
Rob, Ward's doing a nice job of harassing his opponent. And they really have slowed down Fulton from outside. He has just not been able to hit from 3-point.
Coming in for the Braves is number 33, Jake Fry, who replaces Lightcap on the floor. Fulton's looking to get open. He drives the lane. He puts it up, and Shaw gets a block. That is a huge block by Colin Shaw against the number 10, Fulton. Shaw brings it up, drives the lane, and he's quickly grabbed.
Colin Shaw with an impressive transition there.
Here's the key. That's Fulton's 3rd foul of the game. They're going to have to sit him back down for the rest of this quarter and half, and they're going to have to use him very limitedly in the 3rd quarter. So their number 1 player is back on the bench, and in for Taylor's number 40, who is Mark Murphy at 6'2". So one of the things that you can look at with Taylor is they're not a very tall team, but if you look at them and if you go back and look at the Taylor football team, there's a lot of the same guys that played for Taylor this year who had a great run in the CHL football
Absolutely.
season.
A lot of strong multi-sport athletes there for Taylor.
So 22-point game here, Bob.
It really hurts Taylor to have their two leading scorers and leadership on the bench here. Even though we've got 1:20 left in the half, they have been on the bench for a significant part of this quarter. Another block by Indian Hill.
Shaw. Heidel with the ball, brings it up. And he's quickly harassed. Dishes it off to Ward. He brings it back over to him to Shaw on the right side. Shaw's looking to drive his player. Passes it off to Ward, who gives it to Lewis, who gives it to Heidel. Back to Shaw. Taylor's not giving up here. They are playing tough defense as the Braves are looking to move the ball. And they've got... And that foul's going to be called on Jake Fry, who got trapped in the corner and kind of swung his elbows. That'll be Taylor's ball as number 54 comes in, Ross Green. So, you know, one of the big differences in these two teams that needs to be noted. First off, Braves are up 22 points with 40 seconds left in this game as Taylor brings the ball up. Taylor has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seniors on this varsity team. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 juniors, 1 ninth grader, and 1 10th grader on this team. So they're a very mature team, where Indian Hill, on the other hand, is a very young team, with Colin Shaw showing his prowess as a freshman against the Fulton, who is by far Taylor's best player.
Well, Rob, right now Coach Birch is putting a lot of different players in for Indian Hill, playing with a lot of good spirit. We're seeing some...
Heidel with the rebound as Taylor's off the mark with 11 seconds left.
We're seeing some opportunities for the Indian Hill underclassmen. Heidel right now is kind of running the floor. Shot is in and out from the wing.
And that shot was by Brad Lewis as the quarter ends. So at halftime, the Braves are up 40-18. One of the things that regardless of the score, one of the things that we need to make note of, Bob, is that this has probably been the two best quarters of intensity that we've seen from the Braves this year.
Absolutely, and you see this with Coach Birch showing confidence in all of his players, giving a chance to sit down some of the starters, get some breaks if they caught a foul. Taylor just really got frustrated. They were really harassed by Indian Hill with the turnovers, never able to find their outside shot. Really where they made their points was at the free throw line.
Yeah, and Fulton's leading the team in points, but he's also leading the team for Taylor with 3 fouls. That's going to be a difficult second half for Taylor. Indian Hill has a couple guys in foul trouble. They've got Fiore with 2, they've got Eichholz with 2, and they've got Heidel with 2.
So in a minute, Rob, we're going to have an opportunity for folks to enjoy and celebrate some of the Indian Hill Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. There'll be a presentation during intermission.
And alumni Marty Brenneman's here. Mark Miles coming out. And we'll turn this halftime over to the Hall of Fame inductees and ceremony.
To honor our best student athletes from the past 60+ years. Last year, we created the Hall of Fame with the creation of the Standing Hall of Fame Committee. Our Hall of Fame logo, seen above the main scoreboard, as well as all the new video Hall of Fame wall in the athletic commons areas, which highlights the achievements of all our Hall of Fame members. Thanks goes to Denny Duff for creating and updating the video for our display. At this time, I would like to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Mark Miles, our principal, Dr. Antonio Shelton. The members of the Hall of Fame committee are here. What do I do? Just bring it down and be on Ms. Callahan, David Devine, Hillary Kremchek, Sarah Morocco, Bill Poppenberg, Gary Rogers, Andy Shaw, and Chris Shaw. Thank you for all your work and effort. We have a number of Hall of Fame members. We have a number of Hall of Fame members in the audience tonight. Steve Innes, class of 2014. And John Rocco, class of 2004. Congratulations. I now have the pleasure to introduce
and Baseball Hall of Fame member, Mr. Marty Brenneman.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to a very special evening here at Indian Hill High School, the Indian Hill Athletic Hall of Fame 2015 induction ceremony. Excited tonight to celebrate this induction of another class of outstanding individuals into this very prestigious Hall of Fame. So tonight we're proud and excited to present the class of 2015 of the Indian Hill Athletic Hall of Fame. First up, Herbert Bear Hillard. A three-sport athlete at Indian Hill High School, was a valuable contributor in really putting Indian Hill on the map. He was in the very first graduating class of the then brand new Indian Hill High School in 1954. Had the first of just about everything offered in the new school, including some major and unexpected first wins against other schools, some of which had rarely lost in many years. This was quite a feat for a brand new school at the time. Herb's outstanding accomplishments are from an era when there were no state tournaments, field accommodations, and game equipment were, compared to today's standards, somewhat on the rustic side. Herb was team captain of the basketball team, with his distinction of being the first in many categories. Herbert played in first IH varsity basketball game. He scored the first IH basketball goal and free throw. He led the team in scoring and free throws each year. He was the first Indian Hill player to make the Hamilton County and Cincinnati Post All-Star team. He played in the first Indian Hill Invitational Tournament game. And not to be overlooked, Herbert was the first basketball homecoming king back in 1954. In baseball, Bear was a four-year varsity player and was named the team captain. He played in the first IH baseball game, credited with a first hit by an Indian Hill player, and he scored the first Indian Hill run. As a four-year team member of the track team, Herb was again named the team captain, first Indian Hill player to place first in the shot put at the Hamilton County track meet, the first IH player to win a ribbon and trophy at a track meet, and was the first Indian Hill player to play at the Miami University track meet. Herbert was awarded the IHHS Outstanding Senior Athlete back in 1954, the first time that award was ever given. Team player, promoter, and the consummate athlete, Herbert Bear Hillard. Next up, Patty Giradui. Patty attended Indian Hill High for 3 years, from 1988 to 1991. A three-sport participant and played at the varsity level of field hockey, basketball, and track. For each of the 3 years she attended Indian Hill High School. Patty was a three-time MVP of the field hockey team. She was the SW Ohio Player of the Year in 1989 and 1990. And was a high school All-American nominated by the United States Field Hockey Association in 1990. During Patty's stellar basketball career, she was again the three-time MVP of the varsity team. She was named to the first team All-CHL in 89, 90, and 91. And in addition, she received All-City honors in 1990. At the time of her graduation, Patty was a basketball record setter in many categories. The single season and career points leader, single season and career assist leader, single season and career steals leader. Today, many of Patty's accomplishments still keep her on the record boards. Currently, she still holds the record for most steals in a season, first in career steals, third in career points, first in most field goals in a season, second in most field goals for career, ninth in career free throws, and third in career assists. During Patty's 3-year participation on the track team, she was awarded with Team MVP honors in 1990 and was a state qualifier in 1990 and 1991. At the time of her graduation, Patty was the Indian Hill record holder for the 4x2000. Patty was awarded the John F. Niehaus IHHS Outstanding Athlete of the Year Award in 1991. She also received the IHHS Tomahawk Award, which is presented annually to student athletes who throughout their high school career accumulate Tomahawk points based on the number of sports played and their team and individual achievements. A commendable award for any high school athlete. Patty received the honor with just 3 years of high school to tally points. She was also a Cincinnati Enquirer Player of the Week and a Scholar Athlete. After Indian Hill, Patty continued to excel at Miami Varsity, where she was a three-year field hockey team member. In her collegiate career, she was a three-time All-MAC honoree, a two-time academic All-MAC honoree, and the MVP all 3 years of participation. Patty also earned the distinction as an All-American twice in her collegiate career. Patty Gira Dewey. Next up, Mike Scherpenberg. Mike attended Indian Hill High School from 2002 to 2006, a 4-year player in 3 sports, including football, basketball, and baseball. In football, Mike was a 2-year varsity player in 2005. He was football team captain in addition to CHL Player of the Year offense, Enquirer Division II Player of the Year, and the recipient of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame Greater Cincinnati Chapter Scholar Athlete Award. Also in 2005, Mike won accolades with his appointment to the ICRC All-Stars and All-State First Team. He was voted the All-State Offensive Player of the Year, the Region 16 Player of the Year, and the SW Ohio Offensive Player of the Year. He won the 2005 That's My Boy Award, given to the senior football player who exemplifies excellence. It is regarded by many as the most prestigious award a high school football player can earn. Additionally, in 2005, Mike participated in the Ohio Big 33 game and was named La Rosa's Player of the Week. He received the SW Ohio Football Coaches Association honor in 2004 and 2005, as well as being named Channel 5 Athlete of the Week. In 2004, Mike was named to the CHL First Team and the Southwestern Ohio First Team. He received All-State Honorable Mention and Enquirer Honorable Mention in 2004 as well. Currently, Mike holds the Indian Hill record for most touchdowns, 41. His 4-year basketball career includes 2 years in the varsity squad. In 2006, he was team captain and was named the CHL second team. In both 2005 and 6, Mike received Southwestern District Honorable Mention and Enquirable Honorable Mention honors. Additionally, in 2005, he received CHL Honorable Mention. In baseball, Mike, boy, you worked hard. Mike was a 2-year varsity player in his 4-year career. In 2006, he was appointed team captain and received the team Best Power Hitter Award. In 2005 and 6, he earned CHL Honorable Mention honors. Mike was the IHHS Outstanding Senior Athlete in 2006 and also received the IHHS Tomahawk Award, which is presented annually to student athletes who throughout their high school career accumulate Tomahawk points based on the number of sports played and their team and individual achievements. Mike Scherpenberg. Last but not least, we're going to double team you with this one. Jim Vocal and Bill Meades. Jim Vocal and Bill Meades are inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight together as a team. Their contribution to Indian Hill athletics is second to none. They've become an institution, coaching the Indian Hill boys soccer team together for a combined total of almost unbelievably 56 years. Jim Vocal has over 30 years of commitment and dedication to coaching IH boys soccer. He began his Indian Hill coaching career in 1982 as the assistant coach. A year later, he took over as head coach and succeeded in that role through 1988. During his tenure as head coach, Jim's team was a 2-time OHSAA state runner-up in 1986 and 1987, and won the OHSAA sectional, district, and regional championship 3 years running in 1985, 86, and 87. In 1991, Jim adjusted roles and became the assistant coach to Bill Meades. Here, they celebrated many, many successes together, including 11 CHL champion titles, 15 OHSAA sectional titles, 8 OHSAA district titles, 4 OHSAA regional finalist honors, and the OHSAA regional championship and state semifinalist in 2013. Jim has helped place 14 players on all state teams and is credited with earning the OSSCA Team Academic Award from its inception of award to 2013. Throughout his career, Jim has been known for his incredible dedication to Indian Hill schools and athletes. His focus was on producing well-rounded young men, not just athletes. In addition to his dedication to coaching, Jim is an avid supporter of Indian Hill events and activities. Now, Bill Mees has been a soccer coach for the Indian Hill boys soccer team since 1988, and as a matter of fact, continues in that role today. He was the assistant coach to Jim in 1988, then began his head coach a year later, which gives him over 26 years of service to Indian Hill boys soccer, and that career continues today. His career record as head coach includes 299 wins, 159 losses, 48 ties. His CHL record as head coach is 146 wins, only 28 losses, and 14 ties. During his tenure, Coach Mees' teams have won CHL Champions title 12 times, Ohio High School Athletic Association sectional titles 15 times, OHSAA district titles 8 times, and OHSAA regional finalists 4 times. In 2013, Bill's team was the OHSAA regional champions and state semifinalists. Bill has placed 14 players on all state teams and has earned the Ohio Scholastic Soccer Coaches Association Team Academic Award every year from its inception to present day. Bill has won the CHL Coach of the Year honor 8 times, the All-Southwest District Coach of the Year 4 times, the All-Scholastic Soccer Coaches Association D2 State Coach of the Year 2 times in 2011 and 2013. And in 2013, he won the NSCAA Ohio Large School Coach of the Year Award. Bill Mees has been the CHL League rep for 20 years, a Southwest District 2 rep for 12 plus years, a Southwest District 2 state poll worker for 12 plus years, and the OSSCA secretary for 3 years. In 2013, the Indian Hill Boosters Association awarded him with a Boosters Honorary Tomahawk Award, an award given to individuals who have made extraordinary efforts to help our student athletes during their time at Indian Hill High School. Throughout Bill's career, he's been known for his unparalleled dedication to and care for his players, his teams, his community, and Indian Hill High Schools. Jim Vocal and Bill Mees. This is it. Congratulations, guys. Yes, sir.
I think number 3 is Start Stand Red.
Folks who were outstanding athletes and also great individuals in the time that they spent here at Indian Hill High School. Congratulations to each and every one of you. It's about time to get the second half underway. Thank you, folks. Thanks to everybody coming here tonight. We've got a reception after the game is over tonight. You're welcome to come and shake hands and visit with these former great Indian Hill High School athletes. Thank you very much.
Reminder, Angel students that all tickets are on sale in the lobby. So if you haven't gotten a hold of tickets tonight, go ahead and do so. Direction, balcony behind the home stand, behind the student section, selling home tickets.
Okay, here we are back at Indian Hill High School, where the Indian Hill Braves lead the Taylor Yellow Jackets 40-18. Hello, can you hear? So, Bob, at halftime we had a great induction ceremony with Marty Brenneman of the class of 2015 Indian Hill High School Hall of Fame. And rumor on the street is at halftime, Finneytown was leading Wyoming 23-21.
That's right. And while Indian Hill was celebrating their alumni, we were checking the scores. Of course, we are focused on the game here, but I know that a lot of the people want to know what's happening with some of the competition. So we'll see what happens as the Finneytown-Wyoming game enters the third quarter. But Indian Hill up 40-18 as we start the second half.
As the students are on their feet again, Taylor starts with the ball, inbounds it into their Taylor working on that cutting game again. They've got their starters, number 24 in, but they still have Fulton, their leading scorer, their team captain, on the bench.
Rob, what do you make of that?
Well, he's got 3 fouls. He plays very aggressively. They got to conserve him. I mean, if I'm the coach, I probably let him sit the first 3 minutes of the third quarter and then put him in until he draws that 4th foul. Because you're going to need him at the end of this game if you have any chance. And number 24 quickly fouls Heidel. That'll be his 2nd foul.
Unfortunately for Taylor, that's Coney. And Coney does have, that may have been on 34. But at the line will be Nick Heidel shooting. He sinks the first free throw. Nick having a fine night once again. He has been padding his stat sheet in both scoring, 3-point shooting, and blocks.
As he sinks his second one, it's a 42-18 game. Taylor inbounds the ball as Fiore brings the full court press on number 23. Number 23 gets it across the half court, dishes it off to number 34, to 54 in the paint, who dishes it back out top to number 23, who puts it down to the right side to number 24. So the big difference in that first half is that was probably the best half of basketball that Indian Hill's played all year from an intensity standpoint. Taylor came out very strong first, and Hayter gets his hand on it as he knocks it loose. Taylor recovers the ball. It's back out top to the... And Taylor gets called for the charge.
Once again, some excellent defensive work by Indian Hill. You know, we were talking about turnovers and ball control. In the first half, Rob, Indian Hill created so many turnovers, and they really capitalized on them, not just with easy layups, but they were finding the open three-point shooter and then dropping it. Colin Shaw is going to bring up the ball up the court for Indian Hill. He's driving the lane, dishes off to Heidel.
And Heidel gets called for the travel as he was thinking about going up for another three-pointer. Stutters a little, then gets his foot off the ground before he dribbles the ball.
He certainly did. So in the game still, we have Fiore, we have Harder, we have Heidel, Shaw, and we have Eichels. Reed Eichels is covering Coney as they drill is that a 2 or 3?
It's a 2.
2.
And it's a turnover by the Braves.
Good.
Out of bounds on Taylor. It'll be Braves ball.
Good hustle there by Eichels.
Inbounded to Eichels underneath the basket, and he's pushed quickly by number 24, who will pick up his second foul.
Reed had nice position on the defender there.
Inbounded Eichels, who gets it out to Shaw. Shaw looks to drive the lane. He's up, he puts the ball up, it's off the mark. Rebounded by Eichels, who goes up and is fouled by number 24, who picks up his third foul of the game. You
know, Reed's doing a fine job on Coney. Coney is definitely their biggest, tallest player on the court, and he has good position. He's going to get fouled if he goes up strong every time with that kind of position. So Reed's got a chance here for 2.
Oh, they called that on number 23. Didn't see him even in the play, but Eichels misses his first. Up and in.
Nice series there for Reed.
So Braves are bringing full court press with Shaw, Harder, and Fiore. Harder on 32. Eichels out on number 24. Out top to number 20. Down to the right wing on 23 is Fiore. Down in the low post. And he turns the ball over as Harder plays great defense.
Indian Hill's fighting through some of those picks there. As you pointed out in the first half, Taylor seems to wander off their picks. A little bit of movement. They want to get physical and throw a shoulder there. We've seen them get called for the offensive already.
I think they've got 3 offensive fouls in the game tonight. Shaw drives the lane and is fouled by number 32.
Rob, you got to like how strong Colin goes to the rim. 2 hands. He's got great ball control. He's either going to make an easy bucket or get fouled.
Yeah, he moves so smooth out on that court. He sees the court so well. He knows when to dish. He knows when to take it to draw the foul. And he's off the mark. So early in the second half here, it looks like the Braves are a little bit off the mark. They were hot in that first half with threes. They didn't miss foul shots, and they were clicking on all cylinders. They've yet to get hot here tonight as Shaw connects on his second one.
But Rob, they're making good decisions, and I think they're in the bonus now. So if they continue what they're doing off, they will get back to that free throw line again and again. Good hustle by Harder.
Eichels up, and Taylor beats the one-man defense. Shaw with the ball. Off to Heidel, who brings it across half court, who gives it to Fiore, who's at center court. Down to Shaw on the left wing. And Shaw drives in, dishes it to Harder, who gets the jumper, and then puts it in. A nice ring around the rim before it drops.
Rob, that was all set up by the dribble penetration by Shaw, and he's always got his head up, finding the open shooter.
Eichels on 24. As we're down to 4:55, Taylor still has their leading scorer and team captain on the bench. And that's going to be off of Indian Hill. It'll be Taylor's ball underneath their own basket. So the Braves are looking great as number 24 goes up. And they're going to call Eichels with his third foul. So you're probably going to see Birch bring Eichels out of this out of this quarter here probably after the first shot. And he'll be replaced by Eicholtz and Berg. And it looks like Berger's coming in as well.
Rob, both teams are a little bit off from the free throw line in the second half. Substituting for Indian Hill, Harder and Eicholtz are going off the court. Strong defensive work for both. Coney has one more shot. And he drains it.
And Taylor with Eicholtz and Harder off are bringing full court press. Heidel breaks the press down to Fiore, who dumps it to Shaw, who gets position and puts it up for a quick 2.
Just a beautiful way to break the press. Indian Hill did a fine job there with confidence. Good passing.
Eicholtz on number 32, Shaw on number 14. As Taylor tries to set up that cutting offense inside. And it's off the mark, but it's rebounded by Taylor. Taylor with the second point chance, misses. Rebounded by Berger, who gives it to Heidel, who brings it up, dishes it, gets it. And Eicholtz gets tackled by number 14.
Ethan Murray will be credited with that foul as he...
And that'll be the team 6th foul on Taylor, so this will be out of bounds. Shaw with the ball out of bounds for the Braves.
So Braves will be in a bonus quite shortly here.
Fiore with the ball up atop. Dishes it down to Heidel for the 3, and it's sunk. So Heidel's back on fire. Another 3-point. That gives him 20 points on the evening. He's got to be approaching his season high.
Defensively, the Braves in a man-to-man defense. Still with their point guard on the bench. Nice move there by 32 for Taylor. Sean Engels.
Fiore with the break, and it's going to be a turnover on the Braves. As the ball's loose and they're fighting for it, they're going to award it to Taylor. Out of bounds on Eicholtz. So the Brave faithful here are on their feet with a 51-25 lead in this third quarter.
Taylor inbounds the ball. Number 34 in the game now is Cameron Jamison for Taylor.
So an update on that Wyoming-Finneytown game. Wyoming is up after 3, 34-31. So this is going to be a low-scoring game at Finneytown tonight. Wyoming-Finneytown. We'll have to see where that comes. The Braves need, and that's a turnover on Fiore, but it's knocked out of bounds by Taylor. The Braves need Finneytown to beat Wyoming. And then we'll need to beat Finneytown when they come to our house.
Be an excellent game. Colin Shaw at the top of the key, passes off. Out to Fiore, who takes a 3.
It's off the mark, rebounded by Eicholtz, who tries to dish it quickly to Heidel, and it's a turnover.
So the score is 51-25 in favor of Indian Hill on homecoming night. Bringing up the ball for Taylor is number 23, David Pittman.
Dishes it down to number 42, who drives the lane, and it's blocked by Berger. Eicholtz with the ball. Gets it to Heidel, and it's almost a pick by number 54 for Taylor. So one of the things I like about this Taylor team, and we've seen it before with Taylor teams, is they don't give up. They are still playing like they're still in this game, even though it's a 26-point game.
Absolutely. Berger with the ball at the wing. Gives it up to Heidel. Inside. Fiore has a second chance and drains
puts it in. So Fiore with the missed first chance, rebounded his own shot and puts it up for the second chance shot. Heidel goes for the steal. It's going to be a foul on Heidel. That'll be Heidel's second foul.
But Rob, importantly, another offensive rebound by the Indian Hill Braves, leading to 2 points for Fiore in the last series.
And it's a block by Berger, and Eicholtz gives the ball to Heidel, who drives the lane and is fouled. On the floor, that'll be the 7th. It'll be a one-on-one situation as we're in the bonus. That's his third foul.
Rob, you have to wonder if there's something with Fulton sitting still with only 1:57 in the third quarter. So as you mentioned, Rob, coming in third in the CHL in scoring was Nick Heidel, averaging 17.2 per game. He's already up to 20.
With 10 minutes of game time left. You got to think that Birch is going to save his guys once they get up through this third quarter. But again, you know, we've always talked about Indian Hill has had one or two good quarters a game. They've not put together a string of 4 straight quarters. So I would not fault Coach Birch for leaving leaving Shaw and Heidel and rotating some guys through to give guys breaks, but really
establishing rhythm all the same. That's right.
Yeah, it's the intensity tonight has been so much better than it was last week against Madeira, where they lost and where Schneider got hurt.
In for the Braves now is Will Lightcap.
And Fiore is going to be called for a foul. That will be Fiore's third foul. So Fiore's the only, we got Fiore and Berger with 3 fouls apiece as Fiore comes out and Eichholz comes in. And a quick 30-second timeout by Coach Birch. So the Braves have definitely continued to keep control. They've gone to a 30-point lead, so this game has not gotten any closer. The Braves have played with intensity this quarter.
So with timeout on the floor, Indian Hill is up by 30 points, 55-25 over Taylor. We have 1:49 left to go in third period. Back in is Will Lightcap, Heidel. We have Dawson Eichholz and Colin Shaw. Also in for Indian Hill is Josh Berger.
Well, Taylor with the chance for a 3 and misses. Heidel gets the rebound and he's caught and he's fouled by number 14.
So Rob, of course that means in a bonus Indian Hill will be shooting. Going to the free throw line is going to be Heidel, currently at 22 points for the night.
Yeah, we're going to see a long second half here. The fact that we're still 1:30 left in the third quarter and we're already in the bonus. We're two foul shots away from the double bonus. Taylor's still playing very aggressive. They got several guys with 3 fouls, including their star player, number 10, Fulton, who's been on the bench the entire third quarter.
23 at the point is David Pittman for Taylor. Puts up the alley-oop. It's off the mark. Blocked by Heidel.
And the basket's going to count, and Berger's going to probably pick up his 4th foul. Yep, it's going to be Berger's 4th foul, so they're going to bring Eichholz in. So the basket's good. He's going to go for the and 3 here. And we have Lightcap and Berger come off the bench. Come off the court, and we have both Eichholz in the game right now. So it's Shaw, Eichholz, Harder, Eichholz, and Heidel. So, we talked about Austin Schneider got hurt last Friday at the Madeira game, has not played since last Friday. We've been told he's probably out for 2 to 3 weeks. These young Braves have definitely picked up the slack as Eichholz is pressured and gets the ball to Shaw, who pulls up a jumper and is off the mark. Rebounded by Heidel, who gets fouled.
Once again, Taylor is not giving up. Scrappy defensive play. They really were harassing the guard play for Indian Hill. Heidel made a nice effort there at the last moment. He'll be at the free throw line yet again, Rob.
As Taylor calls a timeout, and that will be their 10th team foul.
So, Rob, we talked about who's going to step up for Indian Hill to take up some of the energy from Austin Schneider, the CHL leader in assists and in a lot of other leadership ways as a captain. And we've seen some very strong play from Fiore. We've seen Colin Shaw at the point. We've seen Heidel at the point.
Yeah, they've done a great job of rotating in, and I'm sure they'd much rather see Schneider, who isn't a point leader for the Braves, but leads in assists, leads in steals, has his fair share of blocked shots. So defensively and just as a pure leadership, he's been a strong force for the Braves. And the younger players in Heidel, Shaw, but Fiore coming off the bench. Dawson Eichholz has had a phenomenal game for the Braves, and he's probably, Fiore's been getting a lot of playing time. Dawson Eichholz is about 7th man off the bench, and he's done a great job of adding a lot of quality minutes for the Braves tonight.
He certainly has, and they've presented some tough matchup difficulties for Taylor. Size of speed.
So Heidel misses both his foul shots. With about 45 seconds left, the Braves are up 55-28. Shaw playing defense. Heidel on number 20 as number 20 drives the lane, puts it up. It's off the mark. Eichholz doesn't control the rebound. And Eichholz trying to get the ball back, draws a foul. And that will be his 3rd foul. So the Braves have both Eichholz brothers with 3 fouls apiece going into the 4th quarter.
Both teams struggling a touch from the free throw line in the second half. Indian Hill statistically is a stronger shooting team, but number 20, Jacob Hausler, is at the line, and he drains the 2nd of the 2.
So with 25 seconds left, the Braves are going to come up the court with their, probably for the last shot of the of the quarter. It's out to Eichholz, who brings it back out to Harder, who gets it out to Heidel, who looks to dish it over to Eichholz, down to the corner to Harder, back out to Eichholz.
Braves are getting a lot out of this possession. 4
Shaw,
seconds
who's
left.
going to put it up for a 3, and it's off the mark. So Taylor's going to whip it down the court to end the quarter, and the Braves extend their lead 55-29. So it's a 26-point game now after 3. And again, the Braves played with decent intensity. I won't say they were playing with as much intensity as that first half, but they played with the intensity that they needed to. They've controlled the ball. They've taken care of it. They're a little cold on their shooting this second half so far. Let's see if that improves.
And I think that's been the main difference. Everything was falling for the Braves in the second quarter. At this point in time, they're still making good decisions on offense. They're drawing fouls. They're getting to the free throw line. We hope to see their free throw tally go up in the 4th quarter. Indian Hill has a chance to really rotate a lot of players in, keeping fresh legs as well.
So let's see if we can get an update on the Finneytown game. So it's still in the 4th quarter. I don't have an update, but again, at the end of 3, Wyoming was up by 3, 34-31.
So still a very close game there between Wyoming and Finneytown. So back in the game for Indian Hill will be Shaw, Fiore, Eichholz, and Eichholz. Inbounding was Heidel. Shaw is at the point. Off to Dawson. Dawson's double teamed.
And Birch calls a timeout.
So Taylor's going into a trapping mode to try to force the turnover as Birch sets up his next offensive set.
So, one of the things when you bring players in that haven't seen a lot of playing time, there's going to be some disconnection. They're not going to communicate as well with each other. They don't read each other as well as the starters would read each other who have been playing in a lot of games together. So you're going to see some things where you have turnovers. But again, I think it's good to get some quality playing time for these guys.
Absolutely, and this is great experience, and it really gives them an opportunity. And good teams are going to need to have that depth going into the end of the season.
So right now, Indian Hill has Shaw, Eichholz, Fiore, and Heidel on the court. Fiore with the ball now. You've got Eichholz both Eicholtz boys with 3 fouls, and Fiore with 3 fouls. So Indian Hill's got 3 guys on the court with 3 fouls apiece, and they missed their first basket of the 4th quarter as Taylor looks to hopefully cut this lead down. But Indian Hill has been playing stellar defense, and Eicholtz almost gets the turnover, but it's recovered by Taylor and rebounded by Fiore. So Shaw's bringing the ball up to half court, brings it across to the timeline, and he's going to be called for a travel as Fiore tries to get the cut into the lane.
But you know, Rob, Fiore's done some really good things tonight. He's played with a great energy, and he's had some real good looks.
Yeah, he has. And again, you know, as we look over at the bench, Coach Birch has been able to go deep into that bench. And I love where Austin Schneider is sitting on that bench. He's sitting in the center of the bench so that he can talk to all the players on the bench and still play a leadership role in this team. You got to think at halftime he was probably encouraging these boys to play with intensity, to finish the game that they started so strong. Shaw into the lane and puts it up, and he gets called for a charge. So that will be Colin Shaw's first foul, as he is second right now in scoring for the Braves with 12 points. So he's just shy of his.
But you know what, Rob, on that last series, you got to give credit. Reed Eicholtz had fantastic position against Coney, their big man. Very nice defense, led to an opportunity for a fast break. They'll have to try to get the turnover again. Indian Hill back on defense. Coney and Eicholtz battling.
Heidel with a block shot, and it'll stay Taylor's ball. So I think that's about Heidel's 4th block or 5th block of the game.
Well, he is in the top 10 for the CHL on block shots, and I think he is probably moving up steadily. 3-point attempt there for Taylor is off the mark. Rebounded by Eicholtz. Colin Shaw is bringing up the ball, top of the key.
Pulls it back across the timeline off to Eicholtz on the right side with a Heidel cutting to the right side. Screened into Shaw, who gets the ball and puts it up for a great pass and assist by Dawson Eicholtz. So there's where we're picking up our assists. One of the things that needs to be noted going into this game also is that Indian Hill as a team is one of the league leaders in team assists. They score more points than any other team off assists. And there's a 3-point for Taylor. So Indian Hill is averaging 13.4 assists a game, and they average 59 points. So over half of their points come off of assists. That's a sign of a great, well-oiled offensive machine. And
they've been able to avoid the costly turnovers as well today. Not without some moments, but Indian Hill has certainly won the assist to turnover ratio in this game.
Absolutely. You know, Indian Hill averages almost 10 steals a game. They're definitely in that running tonight, with Heidel with at least 2 or 3 of those.
Back in the game for the Braves will be Danny Harder.
Got 5:46 left. The Braves are leading. It's inbounded to Harder, back to Eicholtz, who's quickly across the half court and trapped and almost turns the ball over. He gets it to Fiore, who gets it back out to Shaw, who gives it to Eicholtz. Shaw with the ball out to Harder, across to Eicholtz. Eicholtz dishes it back out to Harder. Harder brings it up top to Fiore. Fiore spins, dishes it to Shaw. He's quickly covered by number 54, who drives, then dishes it to Eicholtz, who drives the lane, and just a little bit of a miscommunication again between Shaw and Eicholtz.
Now the Braves are really milking the clock and trying to use the entire possession here with 5 minutes to go.
Fiore's playing the press for the Braves.
Defensively, the Braves are still in a man-to-man.
And Taylor's looking to set up the 3 for number 20, who's off the mark and rebounded by Shaw, who adds to his rebound total. And at the next break, you're going to see Heidel coming back into this game. Ball down to Fiore, who gets it to Harder, who brings it back up top to Eichholz, who gets it down to Shaw, who drives the lane, puts it up, and gets 2.
Pretty impressive, beautiful floater there by Shaw after the juke.
That's 16 points for Shaw tonight as the Braves go up 59-32.
Indian Hill's been able to break the zone when they see that defense. They're finding an open man on the backside fairly consistently. Indian Hill stays in man-to-man. Reed Eichholz on Coney. Called for the foul, maybe Harder.
It's going to be on Harder. It will be his 3rd foul. So we have Fiore, Harder, Eichholz, all with 3 fouls in the game right now. And coming off the bench is going to be Lightcap, Heidel, and Lewis. And you got to think they're going to replace Eichholz, and Harder. Nope, they're taking Fiore, Harder, and Eichholz, and they're leaving Dawson Eichholz on the court.
And also in appears to be Berger for Indian Hill,
who has 4 fouls. Up and in for Taylor. And number 24 is going to pick up his third foul. And the Braves will be at the line shooting 2. So, Bob, the Braves keep extending their lead. You know, they were leading at halftime by 20. They were up by 26 at the end of 3, and they are now up by 26.
First point of the night for Berger. He's on the board with 1 point. He's got another free throw. And back into the game for Indian Hill will be Jacob Ward as Dawson takes the seat. Dawson's played a very strong game tonight. He's really been an asset to the offense and defense. Both shots by Berger.
And you got to wonder what's going on with Falk.
I think we have to assume he may have an injury that we're not aware of, because he certainly was their real spark in the first half.
Yeah.
Well, we hope he's okay, but Indian Hill is going to continue at the free throw line after the foul on Taylor. Going to the line may be Lightcap. Lightcap's been on the board tonight. Currently has 2 points in the night. We hope to see him extend that with 2 more shots.
So the final, Wyoming pulls it out in the 4th quarter, extending their lead 52-37. So
my goodness.
Wyoming is now 9-0 in the league, pretty much assuring themselves the championship. The Braves are going to have to battle hard to be in 2nd place.
Absolutely. Braves are showing very well tonight, and they've got some more games ahead of them for sure. We hope to see Austin Schneider get healthy quickly. Lightcap with a fine shooting form drains both of those free throws. 4 points for Will this evening. Colin Shaw defends the point guard, number 23 for Taylor.
So you got Heidel with 22 points, Shaw with 16 points, both bettering their season averages. And we're going to be shooting one-on-one. Foul is on Jacob Ward. It'll be his first foul, team's 8th foul, as they take Colin Shaw out for the game. So great game for Colin Shaw as he comes out of the game with 16 points, several assists, and several block shots and steals. It's a 63-34 game with 3:24 left. And now that both teams are in the bonus situation, to Bob, this 3:24 is going to be a long 3:24.
I think you're probably accurate on that. But Indian Hill is going to try to milk the time of possession with each possession down the court. Heidel's going to bring up the ball here. Let's see if they can find a nice open shot after a strong possession. Taking the ball is Berger.
Heidel cuts in, dishes it back out to Ward, who's up and sinks it for a three-pointer.
And that puts Ward on the board with his first points of the night. Jacob Ward, three-point shot.
I believe that's Ward's first varsity points of the season. Now Ward, Heidel with the steal, brings it up, gives it to Ward, who misses it. Just a little too much momentum coming down the court. As Heidel comes out of the game. So the Braves are playing with nothing but bench on the court right now. And a fan favorite came in for the Braves, number 23, senior Anish Bhatti, who coming into the game had 3 points of varsity play this year. And that's a rebound for Barger, who's looking to get it to Ward, who's going to play the point now that Heidel and Shaw are out, who gets it to off to Lightcap, back out to Anish, to Ward. And the Braves are looking to milk it, and it's Lewis up for a three. It's off the mark, rebounded by Fry, who's fouled. So the Braves Fry will be at the line shooting 2 for the Braves with 2:05 left in the game.
Another player looking for his first point of the night is Fry.
So Bob, another fun stat for the Indian Hill Braves that probably nobody thinks about in basketball. How many high school basketball teams do you think have 2 sets of twins playing varsity ball?
Had not thought of that, but that's probably extremely unusual.
And the Braves have 2, the Eichholz twins, and now coming in for the Braves,
John and Peter Bosworth just on cue as you set them up wisely. Both Bosworths are in the lane here. Fry taking his second shot. Off the mark. Cannot get the rebound.
So the Braves just need to play safe ball here. Anish with great defense. Bosworth with the steal as he brings it up the court on his own, looking to dish it to his brother, who dishes it down to Fry, who brings it back out top to Ward, to Bosworth, who drives the lane, dishes it out to Fry. It's a turnover as Taylor's coming up the court with 2 men. This Taylor team is not getting up court very quickly anymore. So Bob, I'm going to let you finish out the last minute and a half as I go down to try to get Coach Birch to do an interview tonight.
Absolutely. Anish is bringing the ball up the court. Number 23 for Indian Hill is fouled. He'll go to the line looking to score some points for the Braves. Crowd is going crazy. Anish Bhatti at the line, shooting 1 and 1. Crowd favorite Anish Bhatti sinks the first free throw. He's going to shoot for a second. And he drains nothing but net. Indian Hill is now up 69-35 with 1:16 to go in the 4th period. Taylor swings the ball around to the opposite wing. Driving the lane is Taylor's number 23. 3-point attempt, nothing. But he gets the rebound, and Taylor will have a chance for a 3-point play. In for the Braves are both John and Peter Bosworth, Jake Fry, Jacob Ward, and Anish Bhatti. So Taylor completes the 3-point play. Subbing in will be Coney for Taylor. Bringing the ball up will be Bosworth and Bhatti. Indian Hill at the wing. Up goes a three-pointer. It's off the glass. Bosworth gets the rebound, swings it back out to Ward. To Bosworth, drives the lane and fouled. So number 20, Peter Bosworth's going to go to the line for a free throw attempt. This will be the first free throw tonight for Bosworth. Shot is good. Bosworth on the board tonight with 1 point, shooting for his second. We may have a lane violation here on the shot. So with 33 seconds to go, Indian Hill is up on Taylor, 70-38. Jacob Ward defending. Ball is rotating past Bosworth. And it's stolen by Fry. Brought up by Ward for Indian Hill's the final possession. And the ball will stay Indian Hill. Inboundings is Indian Hill. We may have a change of possession here. Taylor's ball with 10 seconds left in the game. Three-point attempt, misses its mark, put back by Taylor. And that will finish the game. At the end of the fourth period, Indian Hill on homecoming night on their home court defeats Taylor 70-40. As the players greet one another, Indian Hill puts up an excellent second half as well as a torrid shooting in the second quarter. Strong defensive effort and a wide array of contributing players. A lot of players getting some time on the court tonight that we haven't seen, getting on the scoreboard as well. We're going to have an opportunity in a few minutes to try to get a few words with Coach Birch. We have Rob Young on the court after the players are able to congratulate one another. Indian Hill completing the defeat of Taylor on homecoming 70-40. So we saw a lot of contributions tonight with Austin Schneider having to sit on the bench. We saw Fiore, we saw Heidel, we saw Colin Shaw, and we saw Dawson Eichels come in and control the ball. A lot of assists, controlling the turnovers, and playing very strong defense, keys to the game. But that first half, we saw incredible outside shooting with shot after shot draining nothing but net for Indian Hill. Really, Taylor had nothing they could do about that in the first half. Indian Hill kept their lead in the second half, but distributed the ball to a wide array of depth on their bench. Indian Hill getting several players with their first points of the game. Looks like Indian Hill's going to have a photo opportunity tonight. For some of these players, this is their final homecoming. Well-deserved credit and celebration after a great homecoming victory. We also had a chance to celebrate some Indian Hill Athletic Hall of Fame inductees this evening. And congratulations to all of them. Very proud of their presence tonight and all the alumni who were here on hand. So as Indian Hill continues with another win this week, as Rob told you earlier, Wyoming was able to pull it out in the fourth quarter to defeat Finneytown to maintain their lead, I believe undefeated in the CHL. Indian Hill, a team that has senior leadership, but getting a lot of contributions from their young players as well. It'd be hard to pick a player of the game because it was such a team approach. So one of the alumni Hall of Famers getting an opportunity to mingle with the team, take a few shots. Coach Tim Birch will be coming over in a few minutes to spend some time with Rob Young. Hopefully Rob will be able to ask him about how we were able to get so much contribution with seamless play from many players. Let's go to Rob right now.
Sign it. Get it signed. Everybody sign it. Yeah, everybody Everybody sign it.
So, Coach Birch, great game tonight against Taylor. One of the things that I noticed is that this was probably the best intense game that they played for 4 quarters.
Yeah, we're trying to battle with that a little bit, but I think so. I think we moved the ball well. We did everything well. First half, we came out shooting the ball really well. A little disappointed sometimes in the second half. We come out a little selfish. I always want to make that extra pass, make it a little bit easier. But played a really good game. Moved the ball well. We put up 70 points. I think that's good.
That was a great game for you guys tonight. I know last Friday was a disappointment having Austin Schneider get injured in that game. How long is he out?
He should be back next week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's good to hear. But your young players came in and played great leadership. Not replacing him, but filling in for him, and it was great to see him sitting on the middle of that bench as a leader still.
And I think what really I'm always proud of is when even like Anesh hits those shots, we're all so proud of him. We're all cheering for our guys, and that goes a long way to what we are. And that's probably more important than any W's you can get is how they cheer for their teammates and how hard they work.
Great win tonight against Taylor. Next week, some hard games.
Hard games, got Deer Park, and we get a rematch with Wyoming next Friday.
And Wyoming ended up at halftime. Finneytown was winning that game by 2, and they ended up losing the game by 20.
Finneytown ended up losing by 20, or
yeah.
Well, I said in the beginning of the year we thought we were the only ones that could get them. I think we outplayed them here. We didn't finish up. We're going to go out and outplay them over there and hopefully finish the game.
Do you think Schneider will be back for that game?
I think he'll be back. I think he'll be ready to go, and I know that they'll be definitely pumped up, ready for that game.
Great, Coach Birch. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
Look forward to seeing the Wyoming game. I'm Rob Young with the IHTN Sports Network, bringing you tonight's game against Taylor as the Indian Hill Braves win the game with 70 points.
Coverage of Brave sports on the Indian Hill Television Network wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Indian Hill Boosters, the PTO, and the ICRC. Their grants have provided us with the equipment to bring Indian Hill sports off the field or gymnasium and into the community, and we appreciate all they've done to develop our television programming. Coverage of